Welcome to the spectacular capital city of Hungary, host city to the 19th FINA World Championships, where two historic communities, Buda and Pest, the waters of the Danube, bringing them together and binding them as one. And it's now a cultural and dynamic city known to the world as Budapest. Yes, 5 years ago, Budapest hosted one of the most memorable sporting events of recent times. And now we are back right here at the Duna Arena, the heart of the 2022 FINA World Championships. And this week, we're home to the greatest divers on the planet. Yes, welcome along. I'm pleased you could join us. Day one of the diving program here at the World Championships. And after 3 years, we are back with the World Championships. Hopefully, we've over the worst of that pandemic that disrupted things for a little while. And we've got the World Championships back here in Budapest. The organisers have done a wonderful job in organising the championships at short notice to help out Fukuoka just 5 years after we were last here. The diving program, yes, the women's 10-metre platform semi-final. So we've already had one final today. That was the men's 3-metre synchro. Now we're up to the semi-final stage of the women's 10-metre platform. This is one of 13 events over 8 days of competition. We had a big field this morning, some top quality competition, and we've worked our way down to the final 18. And of course, the idea is to get to the top 12 who will dive for medals in the final. So this is what is ahead of us. After this platform semi-final, we're going to have the men's synchronized 3-metre springboard ceremony. As I mentioned, we've already had that event, and it was an impressive gold medal going to China. Not without a few nervous moments at the end, though. Their last dive was their lowest scoring, the least impressive, and for a moment there, Great Britain thought they may be able to come up and snatch the gold medal. As it was a margin of around 7 points between the Chinese competitors and Great Britain. So gold to China, silver Great Britain, and Germany took the bronze medal. So we'll have the ceremony for that event later on. Looking forward to this event, though. Speaking of China, boy, they have just dominated this event so far. Xuan Hongshan and Shen Yushi, the top qualifiers, and we're about to meet those who will contest the final. First of all, it's going to be Nikita Haines, a 21-year-old representing Australia. 2 Australians in the final here. And Matsuri Arai, the 21-year-old from Japan, she will be diving second. There are 2 diving Vassen sisters of Germany. This is Christina, the 23-year-old. 2 Germans in this semi-final as well. Yes, Sarah Giuan de Maria, representing Italy, 22 years of age. Here's the second of the Australians. Emily Boyd at 27, making it through to the semi-finals here. So from Cuba, Ainsley Garcia Navarro. She'll be the 6th diver, the 6th of 18. From Germany, 2 Germans here as well. Pauline Fife, 20 years of age. And here for the Netherlands, Gertie Prastanek, 19 years of age. So a big moment for her. This is Macy Vieto of Peru. As we get into the second half of the field here, 2 Americans. This is Maggie Merriman. She turns 22 this coming Thursday. Big week for her. Viviana Panish of Mexico. She was good in the preliminary round. Here's Darren Wright, the second of the Americans, the younger of the Americans, too, at 18 years of age. Canada represented as well with a 22-year-old silver medalist from the Commonwealth Games back in 2018, Kaylee Mckay. Sofia Linskin representing Ukraine. She is the fifth last diver to compete throughout the rounds. Familiar face here in international diving at World Championships, Pandalena Pang of Malaysia. Here's Ingrid Olivier of Brazil, 26-year-old. So she was the nearest to the Chinese in the preliminary round. Here's the first of the two Chinese, Xuan Hongshan, a 15-year-old. And the second of them, the 16-year-old teammate here and the defending champion, Chen Yuxi. So China favoured for gold, and certainly on the performances this morning and into this afternoon, they were favourites also for the silver medal. Of course, anything can happen in diving, and it almost did with that men's 3-metre synchro event. China almost coming a cropper with their final dive. But certainly they're well placed here. And to give you an indication of just how well placed they are, as we see who will be officiating here. Chen had a score of 413.95. Xuan 410.85. So there was only 3 points difference between the two Chinese divers. But next, Olivier at 340. We're looking at a 70-point differential there between third and second. So the two Chinese, certainly we know what they can do. They've just got to do it, and you would think they will fight out gold and silver. This has been an event that China have won regularly, but they haven't been as dominant in this event as they have in a lot of the others. There have been other wins along the way. Back in 2009, it was Paula Espinosa of Mexico. Laura Wilkinson of the United States won it in 2005 in Montreal. Emily Hymans of Canada won it before that. Here's the start list. Semi-final of the women's 10 metres platform. Australia going first. Top 18 going through to the semi-final. These divers with 5 rounds to get themselves sufficient points to make the top 12. This Ukraine had a victory here as well. That was back in 1998. And yes, other countries. So, of course, China have taken more than their share of gold medals in this event, but not to the extent that they have in some of the other events. So it's a matter of doing the job right here, right now. We're about to get things underway. Nikita Haines, 21-year-old Australian. She's got a nervous start. First to go. Forward, 4.5 somersault tuck. It's a nice entry there by Nikita Haines. She competed at the Tokyo Olympic Games. This is her favourite event, the platform. And she comes up with a score of 64 to start her campaign here. Arai of Japan, competitor number 2. Inward 2.5 somersault pike. And a lovely entry there as far as Arai is concerned, so a solid start for her. 2.8 degree of difficulty. She starts with 8 and a 7.5 there, 65.8 for Arai. Christina Vassen now. 23-year-old German. As I mentioned, she has a sister who competes as well. She just held it long enough. The 23-year-old German. So 7s and 7.5 there, 68.8. Good start for her. Now the Italian. Jadwan. 3.2 degree of difficulty. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists. She's underway. She was actually born in Canada, was Sarah. She lives in Rome and competing under the Italian flag. Yes. 64. 6.5 times 2 and the 7. Second of the Australians now, the 27-year-old Emily Boyd. Emily was born in England. And about 8 years ago, she said she'd be competing for England. Then 3 years later, she changed her mind and dives under the Australian colours now. 63 with 7s counting there. Now the Cuban, Ainsley Garcia Navarro. Brings up a bit of splash, a little bit too much for her liking. That forward 3.5 somersault. Just a bit heavy on entry. She's marked down accordingly with 4.5, a total of 40.5. Now the German, the 20-year-old German, Pauline Fife. Little over rotation there, just falling away. Back legs just flipping down there. 52.8 for the first round dive there for Fife of Germany. Teenager here from the Netherlands. They're asking for a bit of quiet in the stands. Prastanik, 2.9 degree of difficulty for this back 2.5 somersault in the pike position. Waited and waited and finally put on the board. Okay, first round dive at 58, 6.5s and 7s. Vieta. Oh, yes. She nailed the entry there with 3.2. So let's see what the judges thought of that one. Sevens for a 67.2. First of two Americans now, Maggie Merriman. Good start for her, Merriman. She's got her young teammate coming up in a couple of dives from now. Maggie started diving at the age of 9. She's got a score here in the first round of 50.7. Next up, it's the Mexican Viviana Panish, the 22-year-old. It's a forward 3.5 somersault pike. Just didn't quite hold it long enough. The legs falling back. Judges looking at the starting position, the takeoff, the flight, the entry. She gets a score of 55.5. Second of the Americans now, the 18-year-old Darren Wright. Bit of a splash there. She is an 18-year-old. She's only been diving for 9 years. She began as a 9-year-old, and there's a lot you can learn and still need to learn in this sport over a period of time. She competed in the World Juniors in 2018. She's got a first round score of 58. Canadian Kaylee Mckay. She competed at the last World Championships in Guangzhou. She finished 7th in this platform final then. Went on to represent Canada at last year's Olympics. She's got an opening round score 64.5. This is Sofia Liskin from Ukraine. 2.8 degree of difficulty for this inward 2.5 somersault with pike. She medalled at the European Championships at the age of 15 in the 10 metre synchro. Just held it long enough there. Bit of a splash, 7's count, 58.8. Now here's Pandalela. She's been on the world stage for a long, long time now. 29 years of age. She was the 4th highest through the preliminary round. So just in front or behind Olivier and the 2 Chinese competitors. 67.5. Given that, she would be hoping to be able to reproduce that sort of form in the final and put herself in the reckoning for medals. Ingrid Olivier, she's starting with a back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist with pike, 3.2 degree of difficulty. With a thud as she entered the water. And in she goes. Good start for her, 76.8. So she currently leads, but now we have the first of the 2 Chinese competitors. This is Xuan Hongchan, the Olympic champion. Oh, beautiful start. What an entry. Forward 3.5 somersault, 3.0 degree of difficulty. And she just plops into the water. 87 to start. Magnificent start for Xuan. Well, that has raised the bar somewhat. Here's her teammate now, her 16-year-old teammate, Shen Yuxi. And that too is delightful. Shen was the silver medalist in the Olympic Games behind her teammate Xuan. She is the defending champion here. She just saw her teammate score 87. What she scored now, 81. 9's counting. Wonderful start. Scores after round 1. The 2 Chinese competitors clearly in front. Xuan and Chen 76.8 Olivier. Remembering, we're trying to work our way to the top 12. At the moment, it's Ukraine, the United States in 13. Liskin from Wright. The start of round 2 now, round 2 of 5. Nikita Haines, currently 9th after her first round dive. Brings up quite a bit of water. Haines is forward 3.5 somersault with pike. She does specialise in the 10 metre. She is awarded 7s by the judges. Total there 63. Navarro of Japan, 7th after the first round. A little short on that one. Scored there of 49.5. 5s, 5.5 and 6. Our next competitor is the German, Christina Wassen. She was 14th at the last World Championships. Score of 63, so she was 4th after the first round. She'll probably drop back a little after that dive. Now, in 9th place after the first round, so she wants to put in a solid dive here. Juan of Italy. Won't be particularly high scoring. It's forward 3.5 somersault and not quite there at the finish. The score there of 61.5, so she's going to have to keep her concentration and pull out some big dives in the last 3 rounds if she's to retain her position in the top 12. Emily Boyd, 11th. She's also on that line of qualifying or missing out. First arm stand we've seen. Back double somersault, 1.5 twists, 3.2 degree of difficulty. She held it, and then the entry, just having another look at this entry, got the feeling she almost over-rotated. Yes, she did. Score of 49.6 for Emily Boyd, currently in 5th placing overall. Garcia Navarro. opportunity to make up some places here. 3.3 degree of difficulty. Another arm stand. Back 3 somersaults. Tuck. And she doesn't quite make it. Coming up short there. She had a score of 40.5 with her first dive. Ainsley Navarro has a score here of 42.9. Pauline Fife. Second of the Germans here, this 20-year-old. Currently back in 16th after the first round. What can she do with this arm stand? Back double somersault, 1.5 twists. She waited a long while until she was steady. She did the right thing, and then just not quite on entry. You see the legs falling away. 62.4, so 6.5s count here. From the Netherlands, Prastanik, 14th. Oh, nice entry. That was good. That should move her up the rankings. Score of 58 in the first round. This a little better. 7.5 and 8. 64.4. Now, it is Macy Vieta from Puerto Rico. Solid first round dive in 6th placing. She ended up making a really good entry. She was wobbling a little, finding it difficult to be steady on the arm stand. Didn't hold it any longer than she needed to. 62.4. Now Maggie Merriman in 17th place after that first round with a score of 50.7. Here, this will be an arm stand. Back double somersault, 1.5 twists, worth 3.2. Well, I don't know how they do those arm stands. To be up there on the platform, arm stand, she took a little while to set herself. Didn't quite hold it as she entered. 62.4, 6.5s there, 2-round total, 113.1. Panish of Mexico, 15th after her first dive. Quite a bit of water coming up for Panish. And that will cost her dearly. Ends up with a score of 43.2 with 4.5s counting. She can still smile though. She has 3 more rounds to go. Darren White, the 18-year-old American. She trains 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week to get to this sort of level. She's the US winter champion in the platform. A score 67.2. Now Kaylee Mckay. This 22-year-old, she took a silver at the 2018 Commonwealth Games held on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. There she gets a score of 61.6, 126.1 for her 2-round total. Liskin right at the cutoff, position 12 after her first dive. Back 3.5 somersault tuck, 3.3 degree of difficulty. Well, it's a beautiful entry in the end there by Liskin. Didn't quite get to the vertical, but she didn't throw up all that much water. 79.2. Very nice dive by Liskin of Ukraine. Now, Pandalela Pang was 5th after her first dive. A score there, 67.5. It's worth 2.9. Just a little short there for Pandalela. Just ran out of air before she hit the water. 53.65. Now, in 3rd placing after her first round dive with a score of 76.8, Olivier of Brazil. She will be going the arm stand back double somersault, 1.5 twists here, worth 3.2. So it was an excellent first dive and a very good second one for Olivier, who was chasing the Chinese, leading the pack, chasing the Chinese in the preliminary round. And she comes up with another score in the 70s here, 73.6, so she consolidates her position. Now to our leader, Xuan Hongchan. Oh. There is nothing of her, this 15-year-old. She is 4'8" or 143 centimetres, but boy, she can dive. This is beautiful. The judges thought so too. 9s and 9.5, a total of 88 and 175 after 2 rounds. And now, to complete round 2, Chen Yushi. Oh, she just rips that entry. She is the defending champion. She's only 16 now, so she was the champion in Gwangju at 13 years of age. The score here, 86.4. She remains in second placing, 167.4. The scores after 2 rounds. It's the Chinese competitors out in front there. A margin around 8 points. Olivier of Brazil in third. Liskin is not far away. Importantly, around that position 12, Pandalina Pang at 121.15. Arai of Japan just behind her. Top 12 advance to the medal round. Start of round 3, Nikita Haines with her arm stand. Nice, but quite a bit of splash. And those legs just falling away. 6.5, 62.4 total. Now, all right, 13th. A 2.9 tariff here. She made the final at Gwangju. She competed at the Olympics last year in her home country. And she gets scores here of 7.5, 63.8. She's going to remain around that awkward, that nervous spot in that 10 to 14 bracket. Vassen of Germany. She got plenty of height off the platform there. She was 14th in Gwangju, so just missing out on the final here, a score of 56.55. Now, the Italian, who was in that danger zone I spoke about, 10th after 2 dives. This an inward 3.5 somersault with 3.2. Tried to straighten those legs, got the feeling that she wanted just a little bit more water. Or less water, in fact, but more room before she found the water. 57.6. Now Boyd, back in 16th placing after her first 2 dives. Back 2.5 somersault pike at 2.9. Applause from the coach. Probably not quite there, though, to sufficiently impress the judges, and a little bit too much water. 37.7. 4 and 4.5. Ainsley, Navarro now. She'd like to do that one again. Just can't get the legs straight. Disappointment for the Cuban. Pauline Fife, the 20-year-old. Looking good so far in 7th placing. Big splash on entry for Fife. Just didn't really control the dive throughout. 34.65, so that doesn't help. She will fall back some placings by the end of this 3rd round. Getty Prastanik of the Netherlands. She doesn't want to make any mistakes from here on. In 4th placing, in 8th placing, I should say, in 8th placing after 2 dives, and just a wee bit short. 63. So she should stay thereabouts. I think in the top 10. Puerto Rico now. Vieta. Forward 3.5 somersault pike at 3.0. So flipping the legs back there, bringing up a lot of water. And falling away. The score there, 52.5. She's another one in that area. Around 9th placing before this dive, so she may have lost a couple of spots. Now it's Merriman. At 15th, she'll need some big dives here to get back into the top 12. She's a 4-time junior national champion. She's won 3 platform titles as a junior. Now, she gets scores in the 7s there, 7.5s and a 7, total of 59.4. Such concentration here. Thinking through her dive, Panish of Mexico in 11th placing. Well, perhaps she overthought it. She was concentrating. The mind has to be right. She took a long, long time getting ready for that dive, and unfortunately, it has come to that. Well, that is going to set her back badly. A score of 18.15. Wright of the USA in 9th. Didn't quite hold it long enough. So she was in 12th placing before this dive, and she comes up with 52.8. Some very nervous girls there with their last 2 dives coming up. It's going to be cutthroat as to who goes through and who misses out. Mckay of Canada. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.2. Yes, like that entry. I think that will score quite well. Certainly the Canadian coaches believe that to be the case. Comes out with a score of 75.2. Well, that will help her position, a 3-round total, just over 200. Liskin in 4th place. She had an excellent 2nd-round dive. Here the arm stand, back 2 somersaults, 1.5 twists. So difficult. The arm stands. And she ends up just over-rotating. So a disappointment for her after such a good second round dive. Plenty of water, plenty of splash. Score of 30.4, she will drop right down. Of course, the important thing here is to be in the top 2/3 of the field. Here's Pang. Now, she has got some work to do. The 29-year-old. She's won 2 Olympic medals, 5 World Championship medals. But she's right back there in the pack at the moment. Nice entry, not too much water coming up. And a score there of 72. Well, that will make her feel a little bit more comfortable. The 7.5s count for Pang. Olivier. Currently 3rd. Reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. 2.8. A lot of splash coming up there. Once again, she takes a long time. It's important to visualize the dive, but perhaps they can take too long on occasions. 37.8 for Olivier. She'll drop way down. Now to the first of the 2 Chinese, Xuan Hongchan. Our leader. Well, not one of her better dives. So that opens the door somewhat for her teammate. As we have a look at the entry, just didn't quite hold it. 62.7. So it opens the door now for her teammate, Chen Yuxi, to take the lead here. The 16-year-old silver medalist from the Olympic Games. An arm stand back 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.3. It's a beautiful entry. It should be enough for her to take the lead after 3 rounds. Just not quite at the vertical. Not too much water coming up, but she gets a score here of 77.55 with 7.5 and 2 8s, and she takes over the lead. So after 3 rounds, we have a new leader now. Chen Guishi over Xuan Hongshan. Mckay has moved into 3rd place for Canada. Currently, it's Wright of the USA and Merriman of the USA, 12th and 13th. It gets very tight there to see who will go through and who misses out. So the story there really was Kaylee Mckay from Canada has moved into the bronze medal position. Shouldn't be the final, of course, but she's moved into 3rd placing, and she can take that form into the final. She can reproduce it. Yes, she could be looking at a medal. The 2 Chinese competitors, though, leading the way from Mckay and Pang, Haines, Vassen, Olivier. The 9th top score is 183. Merriman at 13th is 172. Liskin 168. So there's about 6 of them there, looking for about 4 spots. Here's Haines. Well, she moved up with a really good 3rd round dive as well. Pushed herself up into 5th overall. What do the judges think here? 63, 7.5s count. Arai of Japan, in that group that I spoke about, in currently 11th position. Oh yes, she got it just right in terms of timing her entry. Into that tuck position, she comes out and just held it as she was starting to fall away. 67.2. 8s for Arai. Vassen of Germany. Short. Well, she was well placed. She was in 6th placing after 3 rounds, but not a good score here of 52.8. So they could chip away at that position. Her opponents, 5.5s. The Italian back in 9th placing. And she makes a nice entry here. The Italian The Canadian-born Italian, now living in Rome, the 22-year-old Sarah Judouin. Six and a halves count here from the judges, 56-55. Boyd is currently 15th. This dive at 3.2. One of the better dives. Just holds it long enough as she starts to fall away. 67.2 with the sevens counting there for Emily Boyd. What will Ainsley do this time? Well, she still over-rotated, but she should score better than she did with her last dive here. It's the best dive she's performed here, 56.1. So after 4 rounds, she moves up to 166.7. Now Fife in 16th placing. Just needed a little bit more air. She didn't cause too much splash, not a lot, but just didn't quite straighten up. Pauline Fife, 65.25. So she is looking to improve her position. Now Prastanek. Relatively comfortable in 8th placing, but she can't afford to make a mistake. It won't be a big score. Just a little short. 46.4. So that comfortable position may not be quite so comfortable by the end of this round. Vieta, Puerto Rico. Lying 10th with this inward 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.2. Should consolidate her position in that top 10. 62.4. 62.4 there, 6.5s. Now Merriman has the chat. She's 13th at the moment. She was around 5 points behind Pandalela Pang after 3 rounds. She turns 22 on Thursday. She's hoping for an early birthday present by making the final here. 50.5 for Merriman. One dive remaining for her. Panish back there in 17th placing after her disappointing third round dive. She may be losing a little bit of confidence after what happened in the third round. She put together two nice dives to start the competition, but bringing up a lot of water here, and this is a score of 49.6 when she needed more than that. Right on the cutoff line, position 12 here for Darren Wright. Didn't quite hold it straight on entry. Hard to get it spot on, hard to be perfect. She's there as her feet are just starting to fall away. 62.7. Now, Kaylee Mckay was the big mover in the third round. Now she's got a back 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.3. She can consolidate that lofty position with a good dive here. She didn't straighten up as she would have liked. Seven and 7.5, so 72.6. Position 14. She's within striking distance of the top 12 now. Liskin, she needs a good dive here and in the final round. Not bad, not great. See what the judges think of this one. It's forward, 3.5 somersaults, a bit splashy. 63. It might be enough to elevate her. Pang of Malaysia. At 29, the oldest in this semi-final. Just falling away with the feet. So scores of sixes there, 57.7. She should make it through, but of course she's got to execute that final dive. Here's Ingrid Olivier of Brazil. Well, she went from third back to seventh after her third round. Forward 3.5 somersault pike, 3.0. She takes a long time to ready herself for her dives. This better than her third round, but she can certainly execute better than that. She ends up with a score here, 64.5. Now we have the former leader, now in second placing, Xuan Hongshan. Oh, what a delightful entry. The 15-year-old continues to impress. She just plops it in the water. What a lovely dive. 86.4. The nines counting from the judges. 324 in total. Now her teammate who took over the lead with her previous dive. And that is delightful. So they are trying to outdo each other. Xuan and Chen, they are in beautiful form. 94.05 for Chen. The 9.5s from the judges, so she remains our leader. The scores after 4 rounds then. That's the start list. I can tell you the scores indicate that the Chinese are 1 and 2. There we have the scores after 4 rounds. Chen and Xuan first and second by some margin over Mckay and Olivier. Haines, Pang. Now Wright with 241, so too Vassen. Position 12, 231, so it's a differential of only 10. And things are going to be interesting with this final round. Nikita Haines having a good competition. Currently 5th. The 21-year-old Australian, the Tokyo Olympian in her specialist event. She would have been hoping for something a little bit better than that, a little bit of water, but she should retain her spot by the end of this competition. Arai of Japan. She's 7th. She won't want to make a mistake. And she hasn't. So she had about a 15-point buffer over Prastanik, who was back in 12th placing, and she was looking safe unless she messed something up there, and she certainly didn't. All right, with 316.7, completing her semi-final. Vassen in 10th placing. Probably enough to secure her a spot in the semi-final. .62.4, 6.5s. She's going to have a nervous wait though. Chadwan in 11th placing. A very slim buffer of 8 points over Prastanik. So the Italian steady with that dive, 6.5s and 62.4. Now Boyd in 15th. Oh, yes. That is an excellent last round dive for Boyd. Really good. So Boyd with 67.2, 284.7, giving herself a real chance here. We know that her teammate Haines has booked her spot in the final. Arai has booked it as well for Japan. Navarro Garcia with her last dive there. She was 17th. Bit of splash. .225.9, that is it as far as Ainsley is concerned. The final round, 59.2. Now Fife back in 16th position. She just over-rotated on entry there. So she's likely to miss out. A score of 45 here, 260.1 the total for the German. Prastanik, position 12. Oh, what a nice way for her to finish. So she should sneak into the final. She's going to have to wait a little while to find out. Vieta, 8th with this final reverse 2.5 somersault tuck to 2.8. Didn't quite hold it long enough there. Interesting to see what the judges think. 8th placing after the previous round. $36.4. Puts her in danger. Merriman is next. So a 3.2 degree of difficulty here for Maggie Merriman, looking to move up the rankings. 14th at the moment. Didn't bring up all that much water, but she wasn't able to straighten those legs. $46.4. Looks like that won't be enough. I can tell you that R.I., Haines, Varson, Jundoin and Prastanik have booked their spots in the final. Panish back there in 18th placing, wanting a good finish here. The competition has fallen away somewhat after a good start. She finishes with that back 2.5 somersault and the 1.5 twists to try to salvage something from this competition. She gets a better score this time, 60.8. And an overall 227.5. Wright of the USA. Position 9. So 9th, has she done enough? Looks like she probably has. 60.8 that score. Not one of her higher scores, but that will get her through to the final. Kaylee Mckay in 3rd position. She will certainly be diving for the medals. Mckay, as she'll score okay for that. 62.4, so a 336.3 total. Now Liskin at 13, position number 13. This is at 3.2. If she can nail this dive, she just might squeeze into the final. Doesn't quite nail it though. doesn't quite get that entry as she would have liked it. Score of 48, 279.4. Now, Pandalela Pang in 6th placing after recovering with a good 4th round dive. This is a back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twists at 3.2. So those confirmed into the final, R.I., Haines, Varson, Jadwan, Wright, Prastanik, Boyd. And there must be another one that's just jumped in there as well. This system updating for us along the way. Olivier now. Her final round dive, currently in 4th position. The wait was worthwhile this time. Nice entry. Overall, it's been a good competition for Olivier, both in the preliminary round and here at the semi-final, just losing its touch on entry. But 81.6 is a very good score. The 8.5s have it. The second last of our competitors here, the second last dive, Xuan Hongshan. Oh, they are amazing. Just beautiful entries. Excellent diving once again from the 15-year-old from China. A score here of 89.6. And a 5-round total of 413.7. She will be feeling pretty confident about the medal round. And here is our final competitor. In the semi-final, Chen Yuxi. Delightful again. The Chinese are setting a high bar here. And boy, they're going to be hard to beat for the gold medal. A beautiful dive by Chen. Excellent work. And Chen finishes with a score here, 88, so 427, the 5-round total. And she will lead us into the gold medal round. So the scores after the semi-final for the women's 10-metre platform, 427 and 413, the two Chinese competitors. A big gap back to Mckay and then Olivier. Position 12 taken by Boyd of Australia. Vieta misses out about 4 points further back. Liskin also misses out. It is going to be a wonderful final. The Chinese, if they can reproduce this form, they will be unstoppable. But you never know what can happen in diving. One mistake and it changes the complexion entirely. Well, it's been a wonderful competition there. Chen and Schwan, Olivier doing her best to keep in touch. 18 competitors representing 14 countries off the platform, where you need so much courage and so much bravery and so much skill. So hard to get it right. You've got to analyse the dives on the tablet straight afterwards and give feedback to the competitors. Those arm stands, hard to get it absolutely right. Strength, the muscles straining. And the eyes of the judges on every element. Olivier, happy sometimes, not happy others. Chinese just too good at the moment in this semi-final stage of the competition. So we got the final of this women's 10-metre platform coming your way tomorrow here from the Doona Arena, where we had the swimming action over the last 8 days. The swimmers have packed up and gone home, but now we have the divers well and truly in action. Later on, we'll have a victory ceremony. So that will be for the men's 3-metre synchro. We had that final earlier, and that was the first of 13 finals here at the Doona Arena. Do you want me to keep? Stay with us. We'll have that victory ceremony I mentioned coming up shortly here at the Doona Arena. So we've got this victory ceremony coming up right now at the Doona Arena, the first of our diving finals, the men's 3-metre synchro. So the FINA Bureau member, Veronica Stanham, to present. She's going to be assisted by the sport director of FINA 2022. And that's Aniko Torok. She's a member of the presidential board of the Hungarian Swimming Federation. What a marvellous job the host nation has done at putting these championships together at short notice. Yes, so the German pair, Timo Bartel and Lars Rudiger, putting together a good set of dives and taking the bronze medal. It's a new pairing as far as Germany's concerned. Rudiger won bronze with Patrick Housding in Tokyo at the Olympic Games last year. Great Britain with a silver medal here, with Anthony Harding and Jack Law. Harding, the 21-year-old, he turns 22 on Thursday this week, so this is a nice little early birthday present for him. Jack Law, the more experienced of the pair at 27. An Olympic Games gold medalist. He won gold with Daniel Goodfellow in this event in Rio 2016. Becoming Britain's first diving gold medalists at the Olympic Games. And they went on to take the silver medal in Gwangju. The gold medalists from China, Chao Yuan and Wang Zhongwan. Chao at 27, Wang, his young partner now at 20 years of age. 3 years ago, Wang won gold in the 1 metre in Gwangju. And he went on to be a part of the winning 3 metre synchro team at the Tokyo Olympics as well. Chao's had plenty of success over the years. And who's to say they won't have more here at the Duna Arena over the next few days. I'm sure it's not the only time we're going to hear the Chinese national anthem here in Budapest. Chow winning another gold. He won at this event in Guangzhou with his teammate Xia. China, Great Britain and Germany, gold, silver and bronze. Yes, he also won with Mckay in Kazan back in 2015. Mckay won, what, 5 in a row? Melbourne and Rome, Shanghai, Barcelona, then Kazan. Chinese with such a strong record. In fact, they've been beaten only twice for the gold medal since this event was first staged in Perth 1998. They've won it every other time. So China off to a golden start here. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more along the way. Another silver there for Jack Law, so that's 2 in a row. He was with Daniel Goodfellow at Guangzhou and now with Anthony Harding. Also won bronze with Chris Mears at Kazan back in 2015. Good result for Great Britain. In the end, there wasn't much between them. It seemed as if China was cruising towards that gold medal, but then their lowest scoring dive came with their last. They needed a score of 73 to secure the gold medal. And, well, it's not a bad score by any stretch of the imagination. They came up with 79 after not quite nailing their entry. And there was a nervous wait until those scores were posted. But finally, it was confirmed that China had bettered Great Britain, with Germany back there in third placing. So they waved to the crowd. 13 events here in the diving program at the World Championships. And one has already been decided, going the way, not unexpectedly, of the team from China. We have the preliminary round of the men's 3-metre springboard, not the synchro, but the individual 3-metre. That's tomorrow morning. We'll have later on the final of the women's platform as well. We've just seen the semi-final there, and gee, that was a most impressive effort by the Chinese girls. And they are going to be mighty, mighty hard to beat. So this is what's ahead of us tomorrow. That preliminary round I mentioned. We'll bring you the semi-final later in the afternoon, and then that women's 10-metre platform final. All of that tomorrow. That is day 10 of the FINA World Championships here in Budapest. So I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. It's great to get the diving underway. And it's going to continue right throughout the week until the championships wrap up next Sunday. The Duna Arena, what a great place for swimming, what a great place for diving as well. We'll see you next time.